it comes back, and I'm always the last one to come back. Good evening and welcome to another TrollCast TV. We're going to be tonight another second round game of the King of Herts online tournament between Ed Hertzig and David Fletcher. We've seen David before on TrollCast. He played and we cast his first round game, and he's back again now after his victory in the first round, hopefully for another performance on round 2. So, without further ado, we know David's been having some audio problems. So what I'm going to do is I shall bring up Ed's army first and ask him if he will briefly take us through his army, and then we'll see if we can get David's up. So Ed, if you would please.
Sure. So good to see you all. So this is a Sylvan tier list. I've been running variants of it for a while now, most of this year, and I've got it all modelled and painted and looking forward to getting onto a real table sometime. And as you can see, it's a whole lot of forest shamblers, 4 hordes, 2 regiments, and then 2 troops of wild gur panthers just to get in the way and that kind of stuff. A forest warden, a master hunter, and then 2 tree herders. And one of those tree herders is the Wilt Father, and he's got the item that makes his elite aura 9 inches instead of 6, and the other one just has to make the crushing. So the army is really all built around the Wilt Father and the fact that he gives elite to anything with verdant, which is pretty well the whole army. And it's got a ton of scout, as you're about to see. Fun to play, and I hope it'll be fun to play against.
Lovely, thank you very much. We'll go over to David. David, can you hear us? Are you able to go through this, or do you want me to go through it for you? No, I don't think he can. I think we've lost him again. Well, David's army is.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go if it's
all
working.
Right, okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I'm rocking Order of the Green Lady. Unlike Ed, I do not have fully modelled and painted. I want whether to build Green Lady or order of my next army, so I thought online me to try something new out. So pretty much as follows: I've got a horde of men-at-arms retainers, the MVP in the last game, 3 units of 2 with boots of the pillar and the strength and the banner of the Green Lady. I've then got 2 regiments of Trelementals. Just wait for the ledge up. I've got a Beast of Nature, just with wings, no extra attacks or anything. 2 Pegasi, and then 3 individually army standard bearer with on a horse. I've got a druid with heal, bane chant, and surge, and I've got an implorer.
Okay, thank you very much.
And that's
right.
It.
That's that. So we know Ed's got scout moves. So if you guys will go off, I nearly said it. You guys will go off and onto your messenger chat and do your scout moves, and then start your game from there. And meanwhile, we'll discuss your deployments. Okay.
Okay.
Good game, guys.
See you in a bit.
Okay.
In a bit.
Great stuff. Thank you. Yeah.
Right.
So.
And I was under strict instructions not to say that. Okay, so Ed is playing from top to bottom, and David is playing from bottom to top. Ed has deployed most of his well, in fact, all of his army in that centre sector. What he has got is his back line consists of these 2 Ger Panther troops and his forest warden. He's then got 3 hordes of forest shamblers, with 1 slightly to their right and forward. And he's got 2 regiments of forest shamblers, and also in his front rank is his tree herder with the crushing mace and the wilt father with the sacred horn. Whereas down the bottom, David has tucked a Pegasus right out in that corner there. He's got his 2 knight regiments, his beast of nature, water elementals, his big horde of knights, his horde of men-at-arms, another water elemental regiment, and then his Pegasus, second Pegasus hiding behind that wood there. He's got his individuals, he's got his Redeemer behind the water elementals, his army standard bearer, his druid standing behind his knight horde, and his army standard bearer between the 2 knight regiments there. And as we can see, Ed's wasted no time in with his scout moves, has pushed these forest shamblers right up there to that difficult terrain in the centre of the board. For those of you who haven't watched one of these before, all the maps in this round are the same map. Every game is played on the same map. And it features a hill in a large body of water in the centre with a stream flowing between it and the building, which is there with the horse skeleton on and has a wall sticking out of the back. 2 woods on the right-hand side, one slightly larger than the other, impassable terrain, which is the grey rocky thing at the top, and a field, which is at the bottom where David's knights are sitting in. The water is height 0, so it only gives cover when you're in it. The hills are all height 3. The impassable terrain and the woods, they've decided, are height 9. So nothing can see over the top of them, even when it's on the hill, I believe, because they've not got any titans, have they? No. They've only got a beast of nature, which is a monster. Right.
You're getting lots of chat on here. We've got Jonathan already asking why on earth the Pegasus has been put so far back.
Perhaps because he read the rules for Pegasus and knows that what they can do.
Reading rules, that's not on. You can't do that.
But yes.
Simon as well.
There's 1 shooter on the whole table, and it's Ed's Master Hunter, and I think
right. He is a shooter.
Conveniently kill is a Pegasus. So that's probably why they're hiding.
Right, so there is shooter.
There we go. As the scout moves over, Ed's put up. So they now roll for the turn 1. Oh. So Ed narrowly gets it.
Yeah, I must admit, I did pretty much.
Let David go first. Right.
Evening, Mr. Marshall.
So what do we think of the deployments? And they're very bold scout moves straight away.
I must admit, these are really fast army lists, aren't they?
Yeah. I think Ed had quite a bit of nerves saying he hopes it's going to be a fun army to play against.
Mm.
It looks pretty horrible. Ed makes up for it by being a gent.
He does make up for it by being a gent. I must admit, it's normally you think of trying to get onto the other side as quickly as possible in this, so that you can keep them fighting
Well, if you're fighting in your opponent's half, half the battle's done, isn't it? In a scenario like this, as long as he doesn't get too much around the flanks. I think that's why he's left the Ger Panthers back.
Yeah, to take on.
Deployed them at the back, and I think he's going to leave them at the back to counteract the Pegasus. I think because apart from avoiding the Master Hunter, I think the Pegasus mission is to zip out on the sides and sit in board sections and just claim them or
That's it.
be a buggeration factor.
Yeah. I suppose two of them could hit a Panther troop.
Yeah, they could quite easily. Two of them take out a Panther troop.
But they're opposite sides at the minute, so who knows what they're going to do. I'm not exactly an authority on flying things.
Andy seems to have the same opinion of the list as you do, Barry, when it comes to the trees that keep feeding you trees until you die. Having seen the models that he's done for them, though, they are utterly beautiful.
Well, so the Beast of Nature's going up. See, that's one of the things that Ed's obviously not bothered about, the fact that David's going to quite quickly wrap round that left flank. So he's obviously planning for it.
Yeah.
The fact that they've both got quite a bit of Pathfinder, because that knight regiment that's
quite a bit
sat out has got the J boots, and the other one's got the Caterpillar. The water elementals have Pathfinder anyway, and the big horde of knights has got the banner.
Yeah.
So that's got Pathfinder. You know, they're both quite happy at fighting over that centre that centre terrain. Whereas the other couple of games we've watched where people haven't had that much Pathfinder, that's caused a lot of problems.
It has.
It has Surge 20. Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He has a lot of surge, and of course, like he was saying, he's built the list around that elite from the Wiltfather, and also the Wiltfather can cause the cloak of death, and the other guy's got the radiance of life. So he's healing himself up and putting little chip wounds on everything that comes within 6 or at the end of his movement. So I've seen him use that to great effect as well in a few games that we've watched. But we also know that David is a careful and methodical player, as we saw in the last game that we cast with him. He does have a plan, and he does think his moves through quite carefully. And with the fact that everybody's using the same map, the earlier games, people that are having their games towards the back end of the round have had the opportunity to have a good look at it, and also because we've cast so many of these games now, they'd be able to watch it. So I would say holding back.
Everyone's sick of this table by now.
Yeah.
Getting a bit that way.
It'd be interesting to see what the table for round 3 is. And it'd be interesting to see what the scenario is as well. And also what upgrades they do to the pub.
Yeah. I must admit, having gone from the prancing pony to the dead one, it's...
It's looking more like the Morbrook all the time, to be honest.
It isn't a Yellow River coming out the door to the moat.
Well...
Not at the second.
don't know if people can see on the stream, but for those watching in black and white, the Wilt Father is the one in dark brown.
I know.
The one,
Here we
the
go.
one near the pub rather than the.
Turn 1. That's a different kind of turn counter. So we got 2 turn counters on the right hand side there, and then 1 on the left hand side. So hopefully we won't lose track of the counter. Yes, Matt. And the later in the round, the more you've seen the table, but the same for your opponent. Yes, it does go both ways. Looks like he's checking to see what can be seen round the hill.
He's got a good view of the Beast of Nature has a good view of that flank, doesn't it? But
it does. So do the Knights. I mean, they're out of range at the moment, but are they? I say confidently 3, 6, 9, 12, 50. Oh, yeah.
What height are the tree herders? Sorry, I know I've looked at the list.
3.
3.
Yeah, large infantry.
Will hide behind the hill if they stay off the hill. But...
Yeah, and the Wilt Father and the other big one are height 5. Yeah. Jonathan Falk said, boom, that was a classic snooker reference by Barry. At least it wasn't cricket. Ooh.
I have no idea.
No.
What's
That's
that?
a background noise.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, that's no idea.
Apparently, 10 to 9 is vacuuming time.
Ah, right, I see. Fair enough.
So, Gabe, you heard that?
Sorry.
Get it all
Sorry,
here.
folks.
Domestic
housekeeping.
reality TV.
Is that the January?
That's everyone.
Everyone. Hellos.
That's the entire world, Rachel.
They're not here because of the headphones.
No, she can't hear you, Bob.
The world of YouTube. No, but she'll be able to hear it when you play it back to her.
Bless her.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it on the screen. Thanks.
Right. In the meantime, so there's just Ed seems to be just pootling about to see if he can stay out of everybody's arc behind that hill there, minimise the number of charges he's going to have to take.
Well, having seen how those Men-at-Arm retainers coped the other day, I'm not sure that I'd be right happy with them in front of me either at the minute.
No, but they're one of the only units in David's front line there that hasn't got Pathfinder. So if they do charge up ahead, and I think the way Ed's angled it as well is with the building,
Only get one in.
you
Yeah.
can only get one in. So he's minimising the number of charges he's going to take.
I was half expecting Ed to go around the other side of the building with that backboard.
Mm.
Well, I know he's got his Ger Panthers at the top that he'll be able to run out after everything. It's just the way he'd angled it looked like he was going to pop round.
Well, it did look that way at the beginning when he did his scout move, but he's obviously changed his mind and brought it back in. And he's providing a box with his druid sitting, or his master hunter sitting in the middle. So, how much heal has Ed got? Because he usually plays with a druid who has heal. I don't think he's got a right lot this time.
Well, now David's got heal too, and that's it, isn't it?
He's got he's got druid.
Yeah, just on his druid at the back of the man arms.
Yeah. Well, I'd be smashing it if it was dominate.
Yeah, they would.
Oh.
But unfortunately, it's not his control. So, what do we think the players are planning to do? I mean, it's only turn one, obviously. But I mean, Ed's moved right up and sitting there dominating that centre. But he's got nothing on his right flank apart from what he can move up there with the Ger Panthers, and nothing on the left flank as well.
I think Ed's going to end up sitting in the middle and then just bomb bursting at the last moment.
Right.
Try and make him
he's got a lot of
bump in the
opportunity to do
middle.
that, to be honest. I think he's.
But
I don't know. Blow my mind.
It'd be easier to protect his flanks from there if they're all together.
Oh, we've had a push reference. Bob, we've had a push reference.
No, it's definitely not push. I know that. I wrote it down at the beginning. It's not push, not to say pop off, but it's King of Hearts, and the Ed's using Sylvan, and David's using Order of the Green Lady. I have to write it all down, otherwise I don't remember it.
Yeah, you're right, Maggers. He can barely control himself sometimes. At least he's not having to control me tonight. I drank all the gin last night. Very sad.
I didn't control you at all. I sat in the other room and listened.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
What's everyone else drinking? Listeners? Viewers?
Yeah, I
Faster.
imagine that Matt will be on the gin himself. I know he was looking at the gin. I wonder what Jonathan's drinking. He always has an interesting drink.
Oh, crap. Well, in a minute, I'll be on the Hobgoblin Gold, but not just yet. Well, a bit higher. Had a pouring issue.
Well, apparently that's what they think of me.
Yeah, I've got to agree. Oh, hard.
Well,
Oh,
the next time I go down to a King of Hearts tournament, we'll have to see then.
Haagen-Dazs salted caramel ice cream doesn't count, no.
it doesn't count. Definitely doesn't count. We were well impressed earlier. We had a Mr. Whippy Vanguard past. It's like,
right. Meanwhile,
normal.
back at the game.
Yeah, I must admit, the vodka that Martin was drinking last night looked really good. But yeah, back to the game. Have we managed to move everything? No. It's still lining.
He's still checking and lining things up from what he could see with the tree herder.
Well, the fact that he sneakily put those markers in, he knows where he wants to be round them, so that he can make sure he's on the right sides of those boundaries. I think he is going to sit in the middle the entire game.
Okay.
Which is an interesting way of doing it.
I don't imagine he's going to get much choice now, is he? I mean, from there.
Not now he's crammed himself all in there, no.
Right, well, David's turn 2.
We could be done and dusted in about 15 minutes. Then off to the pub. Oh, no.
Yeah, I always used to tell my kids that when the ice cream man went past and the music was on, that they had none left.
Well,
They never
our previous ice cream man was found dead at the end of the road, covered in hundreds and thousands. He topped himself.
I'm sure the whole world's heard that one a million times. Turn 1, Ed won turn 1, but gave it to David Maggot.
No, I'm not going to do a recap at the end of turn 3 and the end of turn 5, just before anybody posts that up.
They'll just ask when you get to turn 3, what's happened?
Oh, well.
Isn't this nice?
So far it's all about they're just jockeying for position at the moment.
Yeah, I must admit, the start move was huge.
Yeah, it just depends on who bottles it first and decides to go all in, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Well, somebody will.
that's pretty much it.
Well, otherwise it's going to be a really boring game.
But they can only dance around each other so much.
Famous last words.
Well, I don't know. I still think Eddie's just going to try and hold that middle.
Mm,
Can we fast forward this bit, Bob?
no.
Yeah,
But it
quick.
does-
Skip.
Let's skip ahead.
But like Matt says, it does mean at the end of turn ampersand, which is turn 7. I should imagine because he's meant he had the shift key pressed down when he pressed the 7. That as he suggests that Ed can just use his surge to surge all them forest shamblers out into table quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because he's in the centre, it's marked out.
yeah.
It can just, from there, he can dominate any quarter, keep calling them quarter boards, sectors that he wants.
I still call them quarters because it upsets a certain kind of person.
All right, I see. You're talking about Mike?
I wasn't, but probably.
I must admit, missing poor Mike. We're going to have to get him on chat.
Yeah, we'll have to get Mike to come on and do a commentary.
Absolutely.
That'd be quite interesting.
You'll get better tactical advice than 30 attacks hindered is more than no attacks at all.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
also
that was stage advice.
he would sit there and say, "What the fuck are they doing?" constantly.
Yeah, they're both playing very, very cagey at the moment.
Mm.
I take it that there's a really, really cool prize for the tournament.
It's called kudos, yeah.
All right, well, fair
I'm
enough.
looking forward to my virtual wooden spoon.
Yeah, to add to your throne of spoons.
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody that comes around our house eats off giant wooden spoons. We don't buy cutlery. We just win it.
It's functional. That's the main thing.
It is. So is that, Matt? Ironic that on a difficult, heavy map, the armies with the most Pathfinder are being the most cagey. Yeah, well, let's say it. I mean, at the moment, this is one of the things that I dread when I come on one of these is the fact that you've got two armies that aren't actually doing anything.
Oh, Matt, you don't need to provide us with another wooden spoon.
Yeah, but if you go to special lengths to do it, she won't win it. She'll pull a win out of the bag next round. I can guarantee it.
Maybe some wood glue to build a throne.
Yeah,
I think the most beautiful wooden spoon I saw was that one that I managed to get 7th place at.
yeah.
Celestial Forge, wasn't it? Well, run by the guys from Celestial Forge.
The one at Malaga was huge, wasn't it? About 4 foot long. We were really glad that you didn't come last at that one because there was no way I was getting that back on the plane. It was like a big paella spatula, but one of them ones when they have the gigantic community paellas that are like 11 foot wide, and it was the spoon for that. They obviously thought she was going to win it, or I was going to win it, one of the two.
Well, we did really well when it came to that.
Feed you some game information. We have water elementals on a hill. Oh, they're off again.
Well, they were, but they've gone back. I was just watching, wondering.
They might actually all move at some point. Probably about turn 6.
Will they move again?
We'll see. In the meantime, I could put some Sudoku up or something.
We have that water elemental's gone on the hill.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look. Is he giving a flank to that? No, it's. I would say that just in the front. He's got surge 20. Yeah, so anything that goes up there. David's got no surge. Sorry.
Yeah,
he's got the 2 elemental regiments, but no surge.
Yeah, he has his druid behind the Menathalmus retainers.
Panpipe moods. Gosh.
He's got a tiny bit of surge.
I have actually got one of the world's worst panpipe albums, which is Panpipes Do Iron Maiden. Perhaps I should have dug that one out.
Definitely.
1 meter spoon. That sounds about the size of the one that we could have brought back from Malaga.
Yeah.
Would have taken up the full length of the suitcase if we had one.
It would have done, yeah. I can just imagine being stopped at the airport with that. What's this for? Paella. And seeing as we don't speak, or we didn't speak Spanish, they could have written something like "I contain marijuana" or something along there after the spoon, and we wouldn't know.
Well, Paul wants to hear your music now, Bob.
Yeah, I'd have to dig it out somewhere. It's on an iPod somewhere. I've never seen it since. I got it off a friend.
One surge is way better than no surge. Arguably, 1 surge is only better than no surge if you've got anything to surge. Big talk.
There we go. That's more Barry wisdom.
Yeah.
Well, it's Barry wisdom. He's reading it. Look.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. Yeah, friend. That's what they all say.
What's the hero just south of the pub you were being asked, Bob?
That's the exemplar redeemer, I think. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's a combat character.
He's all right, that chap, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. He's quite a handy little fella.
Seems nice enough, but you wouldn't want to fight him.
I didn't enjoy fighting him last week. He seemed to be indestructible.
Right, so I'm a bit slow to this, but was David your opponent in the first round?
Yes, he was.
Right.
Yeah.
I am so much use on this.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
Excellent.
But no, I played him last Tuesday. Or was it Friday? Last week, either way. I've lost track. We've done that many TrollCasts now in the space of a week. I'm like, oh, what day are we on? I must admit, I had to book tonight off. There was no way I was working through Ed's game.
We're 2 days until Steve's update day.
Yes, indeed.
That helps. There we go. You see, it's Steve. It's Steve's fault. I don't know what day of the week I'm on because Steve didn't give me a weekend.
No.
It's only because he said that he'd ring up and chat shit at me that I knew that I could have a drink.
Okay.
Right. So the water elementals have gone into the forest chamblers regiment.
Presumably, the other water elementals are going to get surged into the ones.
Oh, far away are they?
Can jiggle about the druid.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best, Matt, that we're not in the same room.
Who said that? What? No, I see.
Let
Yeah.
me make up for it at other times. The social distancing, it's fabulous. In fact, I might have to social distance and put the kettle on in a minute.
Ooh.
That sounds like you're hopeful there, but then, Bob.
It's fine. I'm trying to keep track of the game. Thinking of what to say, to be honest. There's only so many times we can say,
What do you think they'll do next?
what
Yeah.
do you think they'll do next? Yes. And yeah, I suppose we could play some mood music. Oh, here we go.
Probably a surge on it. No.
No, I think that's Bane Chant.
That was a main chant. Oh, was that from?
That was Bane Chant on the from the.
Oh.
That'll be from the loot-bearing adjutant.
The one with Bane chant. That makes
And
sense.
this one will be the surge.
They're in.
So surge going into the flank there. So that's what 18 attacks hitting on 4s, crushing 2.
Found
So
dice.
4s and 3s.
I found dice. We did wonder if they'd lost the button themselves, I think.
Well, at least they haven't done what Paul Brown and Ben Johnson did. Halfway through the game, they just went, taking a break, be right back in 5 minutes. left them all sitting there going,
I think the girls will have to turn towards the Pegasus.
Either that or dive behind the rocks.
Well,
Then they'll be flank onto the Pegasus and won't be allowed to charge, and the Beast of Nature will take them in the front, won't it?
the Beast of Nature is going to be painful there regardless, so...
Start as you mean to go on. Oh dear.
Yeah. That was a no wounds. That was not good. Where was that?
Yeah, right, now the flank attack one. Is that only 5 hits from 18 attacks?
I think we can agree on that one.
Who did that?
Me.
I see.
You see, it's lethal letting me loose on the system. You showed me how to use it so that I could stream yesterday, and now I can do things.
Right. It's only 5 hits, but it was 5 wounds. But they're dash 14, so he'll need 9 twice.
Well, hopefully he's not used up all his big rolls there. 8.
One short. Well, that was unfortunate. Although it only got 5 hits, the 5 wounds are brought it back to average, I think, because that's about what you'd expect on 4s and 3s, maybe
6.
9 hits, 6
Yeah.
wounds.
Red turn two.
Fair enough, isn't
So
it?
it's within the standard deviation.
Oh, you had to get that in there, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to get that in there. It's in my notes.
Standard deviation, my butt cheeks.
Right, so the Wilt Father with the Sacred Horn. It's always a great
Great combination,
name,
isn't it?
Yeah. The Wilt Father with the Sacred Horn.
Now, I'm not sure if all of
I
them.
think there's only the Ger Panthers and the Master Hunter that aren't fearless in Ed's army. Everything else is fearless.
And
That's
obviously,
easy.
as I said, everything's got elite as well, hasn't it? So, virtually.
Everything within 9 inches of the Wilt Father will have elite, yeah.
So, now that it's Ed's turn back, I would imagine that might just start making a big
Well,
difference.
Well, it depends. It depends what he decides to do, because he's staring down 2 regiments and a horde of knights over there with the Beast of Nature. So,
Well, there's a tasty flank that's going to happen, I think. My thoughts, anyway, is that he's going to move that top horde onto the flank of water elementals, as well as turn his unit to face.
what, this one?
Yes.
Nope.
Oh. Interesting.
Well, he'd be able to surge that into the flank of the men at arms.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, well, it's that surge for you. Surge shenanigans. Plenty of opportunity to do it, and especially tightly packed like that. And with the fact that David's not brought his line in flush, there's going to be all sorts of opportunities for little nifty things like that. And Ed's a past master at doing that, as we've seen from his previous games and games against him as well. I mean, my poor Brock Rider army didn't know what had hit it when I took him on with his forest shamblers.
I must admit, Barry's game against him at my tournament at the beginning of the year looked to be classic. Ed's always.
He didn't have.
Yeah, but that was Empire of Dust, wasn't it?
It was.
It
Yeah.
was.
No, he likes his big scary stuff.
Yeah.
Had all
Idol of Showbeck and
all
Bone
the-
Giants and stuff.
Yeah, all that business. That was control as well, actually. Luckily, goblins spam really. I just had more stuff left than he did, so I had more quarters. I had 5 quarters. It's a game of 6 quarters.
So what's that? That's the Wilt Father coming in to attack the water elementals along with the regiment countercharging. So what do we reckon he's going to do about those water elementals on the hill there?
I think he could put the forest shamblers behind. We can't actually get forest wolf going. Forest shamblers immediately behind the now combat could probably go.
These ones here.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm in the room as well, so I can actually see what's going on. Yeah, those ones there. They could probably go to the other water elementals.
I couldn't see where you were pointing them, Barry. You could do it again.
Them ones that Bob's clicked on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can probably go into the water elementals unengaged, because there's not a lot that can.
No, because they by putting that forest shambler regiment into the flank of the men at arms, he'll protect that movement.
Yeah, the whole line's just turned around. Yeah, there you go. He Herder's moving out the way. Tree Herder's not going to get charged because there's Forest Shamblers in the way.
Mm-hmm. So those two.
And then the ones at the back, Forest Shamblers at the back can move forwards, which gives the Master Hunter a line of sight to shoot that Pegasus on the right.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, I'm going to make that brew because we're going that quickly that I know that when it starts kicking off, I want to have a cuppa. So
There, we'll back in 15 minutes. I'll tell you what happens next.
don't remove myself from stream. There's a button, isn't there? Trying to find me. Oh, I'll just leave everybody looking at the wall.
Right, I'll mute the mic just in case. Yeah, so that's the Forest Warden backing up. There we go. Pivoting in.
Is anyone still watching the stream? Has everyone moved into the room?
I have no idea. I have no idea because nothing's happened on the chat either for a while. As far as I know, we're just sitting here watching a game. But it is always a treat watching somebody who it thinks like Ed. I mean, I've played him a couple of times, and he seems to have an almost uncanny ability to set things up, lure you into traps, and then spring the traps, and be really, really nice while he's doing it as well.
Yeah. Be very really nice about it. Yeah. Oh, he's sent the other one doing all the Forest Shamblers.
Yeah. I think he's fairly confident that he's going to be able to take those elementals out and then to spin round and angle himself. Oh. Thank you. It's like reality TV casting this, isn't it? So somebody said to me, because we used to do this in the kitchen, and all that was behind was that poster, and then I started putting flags over the top. Since we moved it upstairs, somebody said to me, "What's the picture on the wall behind you?" And I said, "Well, it's really horrible.
It's a mirror.
It's an ungodly picture. It's a mirror, in case anybody is wondering." Yeah, every time I look at it, I think,
hate it when people jump on your punchlines.
I know. Oh,
Sorry.
Matt G's fallen asleep. All right, we're getting people saying they're all here. Right, so Matt was expecting the top left Panthers, I think, to turn to hide that flank from the Pegasus, but no, they've decided to stand back to back in the middle of the table.
And hiss, presumably.
Yeah. Or is this the dude, the hunter dude shooting?
Oh crap! I can't see.
I think he did 3 hits and then no wounds. Their uncanny ability to roll three of the same low number. Right. And Surge. He's got 4, that's in. And Skadunchka sound effects. So basically, that's just there to cause David to have to rethink his alignment.
His cord's stuck now, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Okay, 18 attacks on 4s.
So what was it, 4 wounds? Oh no, was it elite? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's his elite roll.
You got vicious as well? No.
No. Wow. So that puts them on 8. 12. No, 10.
The first roll was good.
Yeah. Nerve. Oh! Unlucky. Well, he needed a big nerve roll anyway, so that's not really a disappointment, but it's always nice to get them out of the way early on.
Yeah.
I find.
That is definitely scientifically how it works. You never get more than 1 or 2 in a game.
Really?
Who knows?
My record is 9 at the Cold Up North tournament in the first game. 2 of which were I rolled a double 1 and then re-rolled a double 1. And then when I threw my dice away across the floor at Element Games, they rolled a double 1. Right.
It's good when you threw them away, then, to be fair.
Yeah. There were those 12-sided D6 that I bought because Tim Roller told me that they were more average than... Yeah.
So, what was his name?
Tim Roller. Timothy Roller.
Tim Roller.
Yeah, he's from Texas.
That sounds like a fake name for someone to be talking about dice.
No, it's true. That's his name.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
Oh, except the water element died. Oh, okay.
Yes, they have. I was just about to say, while we've been blathering, the Wilt Father and the regiment of Forest Shamblers have removed that Water Elementals regiment in this stream. Not too unexpected.
No.
And
the Sacred Horn. What's he doing?
who is he?
What that was.
Going backwards.
Yeah.
And they'll pivot. He's obviously not overly worried about that Redeemer.
No. He's an individual, isn't he? So he's going to get to charge something.
He is, yeah. So first, Forest Shamblers in the front. 8 hits, 2 elite rolls, 9 hits, 7 wounds. And they're not inspired, are they? Not that it will matter in a minute. 14 wounds, puts them on 21, so double 1. Oh. Don't know why I rolled it twice, because the inspiring's all the way over there.
Good to be sure. Showing off. It's just how good it is.
Well,
I feel compelled to say now that that druid that's got Surge, that Surge isn't any use anymore.
no. He'll have to get his heal wand out now.
He will.
It's interesting. I don't think he's finished moving, but at the moment he's presenting flanks all over the place.
Yeah. He was only joking.
We shall see what happens. I do that all the time. I'm like, oh, I wonder why he's done that. Because he hasn't finished moving. That's one of the problems. Because you're commenting on the game. Sometimes you feel compelled to fill the gaps and speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure lots of people would say that they'd rather I didn't. But and then you find yourself saying, well, I don't know why he's done that. It's because he hasn't finished moving, Bob. But now apparently he has finished moving, and it's now David's turn. Turn 3. So
can the knights at the bottom get past the regiment of trees in front of it? I don't think so. I mean, they have to turn quite a long way.
Did have to pivot quite a way, and that'd leave them facing the nowhere useful.
The other
to
knights.
be honest. Yeah.
If they could get the other forest champions, that'd be quite exciting, wouldn't it? But it doesn't look like it.
No, but I mean, you've got the one on the hill can be seen by both units. The one
Maybe
behind
if the other unit got out of the way. It's possible,
Yeah.
actually. If the unit in the middle, if the regiment, the lower regiment of knights got out of the way first, maybe they could do.
Ooh, Pegasus looks like it's going to nip behind the wood. Just generally being a pain. Oh, service. Thank you.
She's come to tell you she's still muted.
No.
Why do you get drinks and I get punched in the head?
I've no idea.
Bang out of order.
Probably because she knows it wouldn't do any use punching me in the head.
No, it wouldn't. Am I still muted?
No, you're not still muted. We can hear you. One of the I just thought I'd bring you up to speed, but to be perfectly honest,
There's no speed. There is no speed. I can see.
It's there.
yeah, the water elemental regiments have both died,
Okay.
and we were just having a look and debating what David's next move is, because his big horde obviously will. I mean, if they can't get past, then the best thing they can do is just shunt into that regiment and get rid of it.
Yeah.
And he's bypassing us now. He's just gone into the room as well. Oh no.
Oh, and he's left.
I've rumbled him.
Because we've spotted him, he's gone.
Arguably, considering where the water elementals died, possibly they didn't die. Possibly they just went to the pub.
Yeah, just dropped down and floated into the pub.
I'm dying. I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, right. So
It's taken me several minutes.
Sitting on 5s.
Yeah, I'm not fancy that one myself.
And then
I'd
wounded
imagine-
on 5s.
It's taken me several minutes, but I've just understood what one unit can't see one trampled unit over the hill means.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the J boots.
Yeah, the J boots can't see
That's
that regiment there. That horde there, sorry.
And yes.
I'm waiting to see what he does with his Pegasi. Obviously, he's wanting to keep
Well, one's moved up behind the wood, and one's just lurking behind the rocks because Ed's doubled up his Ger Panthers in the middle. So that they can't.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to play cat and mouse and probably end up cancelling each other out.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the game.
Well, I think the Ger Panthers are just Ed's way of keeping them out of the zone too, aren't they, really?
Well, he's fully committed. Is he going to send that horde into the regiment, or is he? Because he'll end up facing side on, won't he? Probably kill it. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? 96 attacks in the rear. Or is it in the rear? Did they turn that?
Yeah. No, they didn't.
No, it's gone on the side of the men-at-arms to do that damage.
Right.
They're not going to be able to do much else from when they get there either. They're going to be a bit stuck.
Yeah.
You might end up sitting there till everything else is dead, which would be sad. Sad for them.
What do we think the Redeemer's going to do? This guy behind the pub.
Oh, we've got a good view of all sorts.
Oh.
Does the line actually go through the horde? At the top there, that he's taken the beast of nature into?
Yes, it does. But I don't think he can get there. He's popped his boots of striding on the regiment. Not cat and mouse, cat and horse, possibly cat and bird at best. Oh, I'm sorry. Taking me literally. This was done before charging the knights. I'm too lazy to undo and edit gentlemen. That's nice. Yes.
I like that in this case that the game is purely cerebral, and this is just the battle report. We're live streaming the battle report.
This is true.
Everything is called "What Happened Next."
Mm.
And then it doesn't happen the way we say it's going to anyway.
Reading it wrong.
Always the case. Don't we? Is that the Wilt Father that's to the side of the beast?
No, that's the just the normal tree herder. Is not as wilty as the Wilt Father.
Yeah.
He's just herdy.
Herdy.
Yeah.
Nothing up with herdy. Yeah, in goes that horde.
Yeah.
Just let it all shunt up, yeah.
Timber.
I think his Redeemer is likely to go into that herder then. Or it'll go into a flank somewhere.
Well, it's
Yeah.
because he's an individual. He can see that both units of forest shamblers. He can see the regiment at the bottom where the knights have just come into.
That's not really useful, though, is it?
No, it's not. But he's individual and nimble, so really the world is his bivalve mollusk, where for targets. Oh, failed regen on the Redeemer.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's going into the Wilt Father.
The optimist. I'm not convinced
Oh,
the
I made
Minotaur's
you see
retainers
that.
can do anything to the Forest Shamblers. So, has he got Pathfinder or anything like everything else has?
No.
No, he hasn't.
No, I think it's the one rule they forgot to give him.
The only thing. I must admit, he was certainly regenning last week.
Well, he fell at his time. So he's Bane chanted the knights at the top. He's Bane chanted the men at arms. So they'll be hitting on 5s, wounded on 4s.
Okay. Let's look into the chances, but I can't be bothered doing the maths.
Do they realise they're not
Isn't it?
playing Dominate? Yeah, they definitely realise.
Say definitely.
Dominate. That's the one where you take counters from one side of the table to the other, isn't it?
That's the one,
That's
Yes.
the one.
but without the counters or doing that.
Ooh.
Arrange
Oh.
the tree down. Fabulous.
Oh.
That could give nightmares to Andy Marshall, as he says. You eat trees all the time when you're facing Ed.
Right, well, the knights went in because 7 wounds, and then it looks like his first roll was an 11, and then he got a 6 on the reroll, so they're okay. So the next unit, bucket load of attacks, 25 hits, and 4. So they're dead. Poof. Pathfinder Knight. Lovely.
Is he going to reform or is he going to risk it?
Risk it for a biscuit, because where they are at the moment, if Ed disengages,
He can go on that flank.
they could surge them in, yeah.
Whoa.
But it depends on whether David's seen that or not.
Well, David's just tilted
Yeah,
the other
it's just tilted them the other way.
Oh, we're going back. He must have seen it.
Right, looks like we're down to the 96 dice. Can you imagine rolling that on the table? Awesome. 61 hits. And 44 wounds.
Ouch. Well,
Yeah.
something tells me that the troop's going to go.
And on a clock game,
Here,
of course,
end
you'd
of
be
the
like,
tree
yes, you are rolling them. All 96 dice.
You can't go there. You can't go there, David. You're squashing your druids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Druids
he
go.
doesn't care. No.
No. Silly.
He heard me.
Okay, the exemplar against the Wilt Father. the exemplar against the Wiltfather. Hey!
He's just clearing all those other dice off the table.
Yeah. It was just counting. It was just selected out of the 96.
Making sure he picks
All
out the
roll
ones that roll
sixes.
sixes.
Yeah.
That's it.
3 wounds. Needs something like 16 or 2d6 now.
That's about right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We didn't even bother rolling it. So the men at arms,
Retainers.
7 hits.
4 wounds? Yeah, 4 wounds.
Ooh, I don't think they'll be getting man of the match today.
Oh, I was just going to say 11,
No, he
11
didn't.
gets them, but then the reroll.
He needed
gets a
10
5.
twice, didn't he? So it was.
Yeah.
You're preempting again there. You're telling us what's happening.
Sorry.
Comes up on the screen. You're very bad.
Everybody always gets excited after the first roll, don't they?
Yeah.
Tradition.
Everybody, especially Bob.
Oh, I do it all the time, and then inspiring. Bloody hell! Why do I never have inspiring? Tell you why I never have inspiring. It's because I always forget to move it.
I must admit, I
Who's
rather
got-
missed inspiring last night. It was a bugger playing Night Stalkers against Night Stalkers.
With me, it's usually my BSB will be standing somewhere on my deployment line because I just forgot he was there. Stupid green models on green backgrounds. Even the ones that are waving big white flags.
Yeah, completely, Matt. Utter spoilers. Right, so Beast of Nature time. And over to Ed.
We've a bit of a continuity error here because we've only got 2 of the turn counters on turn 3, 1 still on turn 2. Somebody's not keeping up.
Yeah, it should be Ed on to turn 3 now. He's just started it. He just hasn't moved his counter.
Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So.
Public service announcement. If Rob Hudson is watching this, Mike Adkins is looking for you. You signed up for one of his events at the end of the month and he has no contact details for you. So I've just grassed you up that your name is Robert James on Facebook. And I'll also send you a PM.
Not like
Sure,
Rob,
you
not
anybody any
in touch
favours?
with people constantly. Cheers, Maggers. I would imagine he'll be in chat somewhere on 16 different rooms, but
Yeah, Mr.
I think
Hudson
he signed up for a Vanguard tournament. The Bug Eater thing.
all right.
Yeah. He
I
just
know
needs another
now
game that
we're
he's not read the
talking
rules to. Is it still Rob we're talking about?
Yeah, has he ever played Vanguard?
Yeah, well, it didn't stop him from beating me to the best newcomer, did it, when he first started playing Kings of War?
When
Turned up on the train, never had him read the rules, thrashed me.
Yeah. His first game of Kings of War was against me at the tournament. I had to show him what to do.
He did say everyone was very kind to him. No one was very kind to him.
I was very kind to him. I didn't let him win, though, because it was a tournament, obviously.
Yeah, nobody let me win either. Oh, wait, no, Jan let me win. Thanks, Jan.
Yeah, I did.
She doesn't do it on purpose.
I did on that occasion. I had to do all my paperwork.
You were TOing.
Yeah.
All right.
The only best army award, that tournament.
So the event's called Vanguard, but it is a Kings of War event.
Ah, right. That makes more sense.
Oh right, I thought it was called the Bug Eater. So
Rob
it's not the
Hudson's called
same.
the
It's
Bug
not the
Eater.
same one I'm thinking of.
Bug Eater was advertised at the same time.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah, you're right there, Mr. Marshall.
Two flanks he's not taking knights and beasts of nature, but being Ed, he obviously has a plan.
I forgot what
Retreat
name.
to the Sulaco and nuke them from space, I think.
It's because of the. It's always a diversion, Rob bashing.
Yeah.
Oops. That makes complete sense, Matt. Vanguard was called Vanguard before Vanguard came out.
Obviously, it was just a tournament that was around before the other game that confuses everybody came out. Did I?
Well, it was obviously invented by the Americans.
Americans
Oh.
inventing stuff.
Yeah, it's an American tournament.
Hmm. Oh,
Don't think there were legal charges in the fronts unless countercharge has a different rule. I don't know.
well,
Sure
they
we
did
talk
have
about
the
Donald
bank
Stanley.
on them. He could have.
He could have, but I mean, it depends where the leader point of the tree herder was, because he can see. So when you countercharge in, the unit has to move to accommodate the double charge. Because although it's a countercharge, it still follows all the same rules for charges, and so it become then a part of a multiple charge. But yeah, the shamblers were definitely in the flank because they were overhanging by that much, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't really step in. We're just here to observe the game. It'll be something that we can ask them about.
Yeah.
Make notes quick. I was still thinking about Rob bashing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've been dwelling on it for 24 hours now because he was trying to get me to join in with his stupid Pennines border dispute yesterday.
Yeah. In typical Rob fashion.
Yeah. Trying to get me into an argument with Adam Padley, of all people.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Why?
Sorry?
Why?
Because
You're right, Matt. It is too late now, but I've made a note of it. If I remember, I'll ask him.
Well, you'll remember you've made a note of it. We can't really tell them while they're in the midst of the game, can we?
No.
We would be interfering just a touch if it was something drastic. But to be honest, Ed's been playing for long enough to have spotted it, really.
Well, people,
When
if they're thinking ahead, everybody makes mistakes in games. It's
Yeah.
one of those things, isn't it?
It is.
Some more than others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at nobody in particular.
No.
Well, I don't think there'll be that much of a 16-hour drive between the two tournaments because they're both online ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they are
Bug Eater and the Vanguard.
at the minute. Oh, why is it telling batteries going down? That's no good.
You need to plug it in.
Well, it is plugged in, that's the thing. Obviously, it's come
It's
loose somewhere along the thing, so very sorry. Just going to manoeuvre everything that way. Obviously not plugged in very well then. There we go.
Not convinced, Andy. Actual events in real life. What the hell are you talking about?
Last year, he's talking about the Bug Eater and the Vanguard are both in America. There's a 16-hour drive between them, but the virtual tournaments this year.
Oh,
he was saying they were last year. There was a
the problem I'm
16-hour
having
drive
here.
between them.
The problem I'm having here is Niall's responding to weird bits, the hoarding contact with the beasts sort of disengaged
All right.
in the centre. That they weren't actual events last year in real life.
No.
No, that wasn't from last year.
I'm not convinced. I don't think they could have disengaged. And
I don't think they could get past far enough.
No.
Right. So.
Oh, we found the dice.
Yeah. So that's the Redeemer. The dead Redeemer.
It's been wilted.
Or
fathered. Or horned. No, not that.
No, that sounds very wrong, Barry.
He's been herded.
So now we go on to the regiment and the horde against the men-at-arms. Retainers. Who are already on 11. So he should be able to pick them up with 15 hits, 16 hits. And lots of wounds. And away they go, I think. Yeah.
It's looking a bit sad for the.
Yeah, I think he's going to move the regiment forward here.
Or the Green Lady.
Yeah.
Aprils. Yeah. Oh, no. Stupid web browsers. I'm back.
Oh dear.
I lost you for a minute there. I was looking at army again. Right. I couldn't remember what David's army was called. Yeah, they were.
Well, he's still got his major combat power.
Yeah, but next turn he can only use it against a regiment of forest shamblers.
Yeah, I think that's why Ed held that horde back.
For sure.
Ouch.
Maybe that's maybe taking that flank was a mistake with the middle regiment. Both regiments should perhaps have gone for the shambles at the other side if they could have seen them.
The one on the hill.
The one on the hill, yeah.
Yeah, the one they could both see.
They're taking that one, yeah, rather than getting themselves stuck in the centre. Maybe, but honestly, I can't remember anymore. Big talk.
Well,
Looks like they're probably going to snuff it now.
Yeah, well, that's the attacks and 8 on there. And 9 for the reroll. So they're gone.
And you're doing it again with spoilers.
I'm not. I'm doing it when it comes up on the stream there. I'm watching the stream now.
When that popped up, I saw it after you'd said it.
That's right, Andy. Shut your mouth.
Yeah. He always has a plan.
Moonrakers. Bloody Moonrakers, come over here, commenting on these games that we're streaming. We. I say we because they actually keep me under their stairs. This isn't a room at all. I'm just.
You're Harry Potter and you're stuck in the cupboard.
It is a massive cupboard with a light. I'm very grateful.
Barry.
A cleaner, as you've seen.
It's
She's not watching this. She's going to batter me.
Right.
Doesn't
So the tree, he's still testing all the angles on where he wants the tree herder facing. Because he doesn't want to give a flank away to them knights. Turn 4.
Oh. Well, I must admit, considering how slow it seems to have gone, there's not a lot of units still there.
No, I think it's just two completely brutal turns, to be honest. Because Ed had the scout move, it seems like it's taken a lot longer, but it's like he had an extra turn on the front. So they were toe to toe quite quickly. And that's what
I didn't think he'd do that, to be honest. I didn't think he'd throw everything forwards quite so enthusiastically. I would have done against the shooty army, but not against one that had all the fast stuff. But there you go. I don't know.
I think when it's fast,
I haven't got one of those armies. So.
yeah.
That's, to be honest.
Most people's aim is to try and get to the other side and hold the other side, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, David. I think David's main concern was keeping Ed out of that centre area and holding as much of the rest of the board as he could. That's what I'd have done when I saw that it was all arrayed in that centre there. Because you look at it and you think, well, he's going to go for my centre, but he's not really spread out that much. And I think what Ed's decided to do was just meet him head on, grind David's army down. And if you think about it, if he takes out that regiment and that horde, then David's only got 3 scoring units left, the Beast and the 2 Pegasi.
Yeah.
Whereas Ed's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 scoring units left. So
Panthers are just going to sit there, aren't they, until they have to?
Well, I think what they're going to do if David decides that those 2 Pegasi are just going to claim those 2 outside sectors, the Ger Panthers will just march into them and contest them. Because obviously there's nothing in David's bottom 2 outside sectors. It's all top to bottom.
I don't think there's going to be anything in the middle one either after the next.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're on turn 4 now, and it's not looking very rosy for the Order of the Green Lady at the moment.
No, it's
I think,
not.
to be fair, maybe David he might have got more out of just not fighting and going around the outside. If Ed said, I'm taking the centre, David might have been able to say, Well,
Thing is,
okay.
he couldn't
I'll take
really-
anything else.
Couldn't really do that because we know that there's a lot of surge in the forest shamblers, and it would just bomb burst in the last turn if you didn't go in and start trying to kill them off.
Yeah, he could put stuff all over that. He'd move things around and contest, and at least negate some of that movement of David's round the edges of the table. I mean, he's obviously seen from David's deployment what he thinks he's going to do. That's why the Ger Panthers have done what they've done. They're just there to negate any board sector stealing. And he's just thrown forest shambler units are there to absorb the charges and then to get the counters in.
There goes the burn chance again.
Yeah. Well, he still has the loot, and he still has the druid, so he can bane chant both those units.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it's not going to make a hell of a
these
difference.
are the two. Tom Bombadil, Forest Warden dude, whatever he is. Nobody likes him, do they?
No.
He's like the least important guy in the middle there, so he's been thrown in.
He's got
He wouldn't love to kill that guy.
11 hits.
See if it convert. It's not looking so high.
7 wounds. But he's still there. He's wavered.
Oh, this changes everything. Oh, wait.
So it's the Horde going in, 32 attacks. 25 hits. And looks like that regiment's toast, which we fully expected it to be.
Yeah, didn't keep track of the wounds there, but it turns out it didn't matter.
Yeah.
There was at least, or was it 14?
Well, it already had 4 wounds on it, so
Yeah, I think it was 14. So yeah,
It didn't stand much chance.
oh the humanity, or the tree regiment.
So
Leave himself on time.
well, it's because his druid was hard up against the side of it. Okay, so it's the Beast of Nature because it's the unmodified version of the Beast of Nature. It's not got 7 attacks, it's got 5 attacks. But it does have vicious, so that's 4 wounds. Oh, I think he's 1 short there. Because that puts him on 16.
Yeah.
So he's stuck in combat there. That Knight Regiment's not looking too healthy at the moment. So what do we think? Do we think Ed'll stick the Horde and the Wiltfather in against the Horde of Knights? Flank the regiment that's up against the Forest Warden and just try and grind the beast.
I would have thought both tree herders into the Horde.
Right, I don't know whether the other one can.
Not from He needs to get the forest warden out of the way, doesn't he? I don't know if he can do that. Does he remember?
The forest warden is nimble.
Yeah, so he might be able to get out. Oh, he's not done it. That's the end of that. He might have been able to.
He's thinking about it.
He's not watching the stream at the same time, is he?
Doesn't surprise me.
I can safely say that nobody in their right mind would take tactical advice off us. Really, would they? Yeah, I'll watch the stream.
Barry might have some tips for me.
Hey,
We should have,
No.
we should have a section, Barry's tips.
I'm not sure everybody would be making me
I know,
think
is
of
that-
I'm telling you,
club feed
you
last
need a
night.
banner for Big Talk.
Click on the wrong
No, it's
thing.
the hour of the show for Barry's tips. This week, I have mostly been eating acorns.
Doesn't sound like me. Or
Well,
something
let's say,
I'd do.
It's a fast show, isn't it?
Going back.
That doesn't sound like me either.
No. Jesse's tips.
Jesse's tips, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. This week, I have mostly been wearing blue court shoes. Right, so the Willfathers jogged over and spread his love out amongst all the units there, took a wound on each. He's put the tree herder in the flank of the regiment. So, and it looks like he's going to, yeah, boof.
Oh,
No, I hadn't actually
Why?
spotted that one, so.
no. I was looking at I was looking at the horde. Thinking, what a waste.
Yeah.
The night horde, I mean. I'm thinking, what a waste.
That is it's quite painful. Oh, the Gert Panthers have moved.
No, we're still moving.
I thought they were terrain. Shit.
We've not moved in that long, Barry. We'll forgive you. Yeah, I do kind of feel a bit sorry for that beast of nature as well, Andy. Trees on every side.
You should be happy with that. It's a beast of nature, to be fair. It's going home.
Only the friendly trees, Barry. Only the friendly.
Oh, this is getting too complicated for me. I don't understand the law.
So, something's suggesting to me that Andy's still having nightmares about all these trees. I do think
Oh,
Dave.
There we go. That's the
Done the
rear
shooting.
charge.
Let's get the
54
shooting.
attacks.
That was me waiting to see what happened with those Gert Panthers.
Yeah, they shifted slightly to alter the angle so that neither of the Pegasi could get a rear charge on either of the units. It's just all angled so that they're out of arc.
You mean they're using those tic tac things?
Yes, he is.
Gosh,
quite well as well.
exceptionally well.
Who'd have thunk it?
Is that what this is? These streams are designed to make other people feel good about themselves with regards to tactics. This
Mm.
isn't where we impart wisdom to the world. We just go, well, could be worse.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
could be
much.
us.
Could be worse. It could be us playing.
Didn't expect that. Well, do you think we did?
Come and have your tactical nouns critiqued by 3 idiots.
Oh, bless you, Andy.
Hello.
I must admit, I really feel for having missed Franticon this year.
Well, we played Ed in round 1 of the doubles at Franticon.
We did.
Um,
And then I played him the next day as well in the single.
yeah. When you hideously cheated in doubles,
Idiots.
Wow. Putting an extra unit of centaurs on that wasn't in the army list. Right.
We had
Did they have 3 players or something?
using the same day, and I'd forgotten about that.
I know.
We took it off before gameplay started. It got noticed.
No, it got noticed when we were about to shoot with it.
I've slept since last year, Bob.
Anyway, back to the game. So that was the tree herder removing the regiment after the 2 hordes had removed the beast of nature.
Yeah.
So now we go on to the horde versus the horde.
That was very cool. But yeah. Now everybody can just all pile in.
That's the elite, so that's an extra hit, so that's 10. And 4s. So only 4 wounds. Well, unfortunately, Paul, we had to make a choice. We had to either go to Franticon, or we had the opportunity to go to Malaga. We couldn't do both, so we went to Malaga and sat in the sunshine.
I can understand what. Yeah, it was a very good drinking week.
Got thrown off a bus in Torremolinos.
It's better than when we went to Malta and couldn't remember how we'd got back across to the hotel. We know we have
a Pegasus going for forest shamblers now.
Yeah, he's thrown the Pegasus into the forest shamblers. So that's what, 9 attack? Is it in the rear?
No, that's nothing.
No, it's not. He's turned around, has he?
Yeah.
Right, so it's 3 attacks in the front. He's hoping to pick up. He's just hoping to pick up that.
If he gets
I
1,
think he's hoping because it's already damaged. It can
well, it's on 8.
It's
8 damage on it, so he's got 3 attacks. He might be able to pick it up.
Panthers have. Just click on it for us, Bob. See if those Ger Panthers will have his.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
So if he flubs, he's going to get Ger Panthers in the flank.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't much of a choice. It was definite sunshine and lots of fear. So I wanted the basement in London, but we'd probably have paid more for the basement in London than we did for the entire trip to Malaga. Sadly. And I'm very glad we went on holiday, because we certainly don't look like we're going to get away again for a while, do we?
I don't know.
There isn't anywhere away now. It's all gone.
No, well, I think if we go anywhere, we'd still end up spending 2 weeks in lockdown wherever we went to, wouldn't we?
Unless we went to Element Games in Stockport.
For those
Oh.
watching this on catch up, this is a post-event video. There are no other places.
Yeah, it will be another table zone for Ed if he flubs it.
Well.
And to be honest, even if he doesn't flub it, because if he takes that out, unless he has a good overrun, he's going to be taken out
Well,
by
it's not. It's not holding anything, is it?
No. Well, it
And all
was.
that.
It had the other corner.
No, because Ed had just moved the Ger Panthers in
Well,
and
yeah.
sat them there facing it, going.
Yeah. Ed's good like that.
Well, not literally, because I don't think Panthers do that sort of thing. But you never know.
Now picture a panther waving. It
Oh dear!
makes me tiger.
2 attempts to Bane chant, 2 fails.
Well,
That's my dice. That really is. It's all going horribly, horribly wrong.
poor David.
9 wounds.
Well,
Oh, it's one shy.
5.
Oh, well, there you go.
16's not enough.
No. That was unfortunate.
Okay, let's see what the Pegasus does. See if the Pegasus can pick it up.
Having
2 hits.
I think UB's on a roll.
1 wound.
So I put him on 9, so he needs 8. Oh!
No.
Oh, what's that?
Just to rub it in. Yeah,
Mm.
snake eyes.
That's Dave's second snake eyes, isn't it?
Mm. I mean, they were both on stretch rolls,
Yes.
but I mean, it doesn't lessen the anguish
Yeah,
anymore,
right.
does it? And I need an 8, I need a 9, both snake eyes, just to kick you in the teeth when you're down.
Oh,
And here go the Ger Panthers into the flank.
well, I'm sure.
Cat catches flying horse.
Yeah.
My cat just gave me a funny look when I said that. She couldn't catch a flying horse.
I believe you're getting a new kitty.
Yes. Yes, we are.
You're not impressed.
No.
No.
What happened was, Rach wanted to get a cat, another one. I don't really like the one that we've got now. Our daughter also wanted to get a cat, so we compromised, and they agreed to get one whilst I wasn't looking.
Yeah. The usual way. So that's
we're getting one.
That's the Horde, the Wilt Father, and it looks like everybody else going for just a pile in.
Yeah. It is mop-up time, like Andy Marshall's just said.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's what I felt like when I found out we're getting another cat.
Mop-up time.
It's not about me. It's not about me.
Not at all.
It's about Dave and the ignominious end of his
Well, it is.
successful horde of strength.
The thing is that the Sylvan Elves and the Order of the Green Lady all purport to follow the same thing. So it's a bit of infighting.
Everybody should die. Yeah.
However, the last game I watched that Ed was taking part in, it was on Dash 28, and he was playing Sylvan Elves against Sam Sowden's Order of the Green Lady. And it was pretty much a similar sort of outcome. Apart from the fact that at one point Sam Sowden just suddenly, he must have just had like a red filter dropped over his eyes and everything charged in, just went mental and bounced off. And then I just picked it all up. I mean, now, yeah. Definitely. It's toys back in the box time now.
I suppose that is one good thing about playing on UB. You don't get in a stress and throw them in the box.
This is true. And I found you also, you don't play the entire game, and then when you're totting up the points at the end, go, at what point did you kill me mammoth? What mammoth? It never came out of the box.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Ed
actually, the one time I played Ed, he did actually suggest that I calm down at one point during our game, because I did have a minor temper tantrum that involved jumping up and down and raging. I'd turned a very bad dice, so it was quite crucial. But then he had one which he took in his stride, and lots of his stuff died. So I felt a bit silly. But there you go. He's a better man than me. What can I say?
He's a proper gent, though, isn't he?
He might have been concerned that I was going to knock over his table. I literally jumped up and down on the spot.
Yeah, as a club, we're not well renowned for being restrained, though, are we? running around the tables with your shirt over your head because you've just double sixed somebody.
Yeah. Although to be fair, maybe you heard about the previous year, when the only time I really I came close to encountering Elliot and his whatever army he had that he won best
Forces
army
of
with.
nature.
Yeah, I wasn't playing against him. I was playing at the table next to him, but I tripped over the table twice and almost face planted into his army. That he won best army with. And
oh dear!
It was only through virtue of essentially being a sleeping bag full of beer that I was able to move myself out of the way. And
Outstanding. It looks like a dead Pegasus. Yes.
Yeah.
No big shock there.
No.
So Andy Marshall thinks that Ed should just have a dustpan and brush as his army.
he should make it out of his current trees army. Oh wait, that's what that is.
Shooting
like a broom.
There
you go. It's a broom. He's got the broom.
Oh, gibbering back under the table. Yeah. I can imagine that the scarecrow facing that you got after Ed was more that one, Andy.
Oh, he's just killed the Pegasus and then obviously forgot to do his shooting, and David's returned the favour earlier and gave him and let him shoot his hunter. So put a wound on the Pegasus. So this is the first horde of Forest Shamblers going in with Elite against the Knights. So the Knights are on 6 wounds and they're what, 20?
No, that's the tree herder in the flank, isn't it?
No, it's tree herder in the flank, right?
I think.
Ouch.
This is
yeah, this is both Forest Shamblers together.
Yeah.
One of them's got mace.
8 elite rolls. 17 hits. 11 wounds.
I think that's going to be a goner.
Well,
if
Ed's going to get a double 1, this is just about the time that Karma's going to throw it in there, isn't it?
Yeah. To be devastated.
No.
Yeah.
Not today.
You didn't scan. Pretty empty.
Sorry.
You know.
I can't help it.
Getting too excited. But then after all the posturing at the beginning, it's a case of watching what becomes now, isn't it?
Well, to be perfectly honest, it's all that's going to happen now is Ed's going to find the easiest and quickest way to bomb burst his army out to get to every board quarter.
Yeah.
Section, whatever thing, sixth. So it's just a case of finesse manoeuvring now, isn't it? Because he's marked out the edges of the with the little skulls.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just get himself in them.
It's surge time.
And all David's got is the Pegasus, his carpet carrying army standard bearer, and the Druid. So it just depends on where the Pegasus wants to go, where he thinks he can go to do the most good. But I mean, he's got this dude following him around, shooting arrows at him. So, he's going to go.
He's going to go for it.
He's going to fly up to him and land in front of him.
Oh, good grief!
I think he's given the Ger Panthers his rear.
I bet that exemplar adjutant with the magic carpet thingy for a flag was really pleased with himself when he set out with his standard, and he's probably feeling a bit silly now.
Oh, who's that? Just
can't
kill
the Druid. Bang out of order.
The Wilt father has decided to go and stomp on the Druid.
Bad Druid, you are doing this wrong.
And it looks like the adjutant's about to eat the other tree herder in the face.
Oh, dear.
It's just... And there you go. 1, 2.
Well, something tells me Dave and Andy are going to have commiserating beers together at some point over this tree herd round.
Yeah, it's pretty grim.
And in the hands of somebody like Ed who knows what they're doing with it, it's pretty horrific.
Showing off, isn't it? Just showing off.
Yeah, because I can guarantee if I turned up for the club meet with this army, this would not be the way it was played. Yeah, I'm going to advance into the centre, and they're all dead. But
you think a couple of days ago we were all taking the piss out of Steve for deploying in 2 of his sectors and saying he does realise his controllers, doesn't he, and all the rest of it. and then he went on to win.
Yes.
Arguably through no fault of his own, according to some. And then you've got Eddie deploys right in the centre, and we're like, it's definitely a good move, that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's why we
can't wait to find out why.
Yeah. Did you have a plan at the beginning of the game? Yes, and it worked. Well, that's the 2 characters picked up by giant trees running over and smacking them into the ground. Are they actually in combat with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not in contact with it, are they? They just sort of vaguely ran towards it. I thought it just stopped them, just short of it. But obviously they decided that, yes. I think that was like you might as well get the points for it. And that as they say.
Is that?
Is that?
It is.
It's a bit nasty and mean.
Okay.
So when
In the
Ed
room.
comes on and David's crying, we can call him a bad man.
Oh, that's the overrun. Whoosh. Just to get him into the...
Into the zones.
yeah. He's just moving everything out now in these... are we in turn 7? I think that was what that roll was.
No, it was turn 6. Wasn't it?
Could be. Look slow. No need for that.
They're all dead, Dave. Dave, they're all dead.
Excellent.
Oh dear.
Kind of reverse of the game that I have with David.
So one unplugged game, Steve. Oh, Robert will be on to. I love the way that the guys from King of Herts and Central London call Rob Hudson Robert, whereas we just call him all sorts of rude names.
Yes.
I like that he still goes by Monkey Boy online.
Yeah.
I must admit, I permanently want to call him Monkey Boy, but
I can't say what I want to call him all the time.
yeah, well, I think we do call him all the time. That's the thing. He knows it.
He definitely knows it. Bless him.
Well, that's wrapped up. We'll just wait for them to
What's that mean?
come back in.
I would imagine. What? Hello.
There we go. It's just easier.
Oh, I see.
Well, we don't need to see the battlefield anymore.
No, we
No.
don't.
So basically, Ed lost a regiment, 2 regiments and a horde, and got David's entire army in return.
Mm.
And they're trees, so we'll grow them back.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
don't use
Yeah.
anything.
In the
It looks like
battlefield.
Andy's winding himself up to decide who he's going to be playing next.
Well, it's always the same at a tournament, isn't it? When you watch the games and you're then speculating on who you're going to play in the next round. I mean, at the moment, Stephen Pearce and Rob Hudson haven't played yet. So Friday, yeah. And Rob, being the shy and retiring person he is, he wasn't. He wasn't willing to come on stream, so to him. And now he's panicking because of the shout out I gave earlier on. he's come on and gone, what? They're banning Brits from the American tournament? Yes, they are.
No, just you, Rob, because you're. Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether they've just given up.
Probably just having a quick
No,
chat. Come on, and
They'll be totting up the scores.
they might even be being really good boys for sending in their sheet.
Oh yes, it's
Go away.
Ed. So it's all on electronics forms again, isn't it?
He's back.
Ed,
Hi, Ed.
greetings.
Ed, you're a mean man.
It's just my trees like horses.
Oh,
They love horse manure. They want them to stay.
you had Andy Marshall quivering under the table in remembrance of your trees. Oh. I'm sure he'll join us in a minute with his hopefully we'll not have any more problems with his head.
He decided to make it easy for me at the end and not try and run away.
We did notice that he left the open rear on the Pegasus by flying over and presenting.
Symbolic.
I think he was farting in my
Presentation.
general direction. Quite afraid.
Oh dear. Well, because we must admit, and we'll hold our hands up, when you did your scout move and everything was in the centre and you were being overlapped on that left-hand side, we were like, oh, that's interesting. But obviously, we then said, yes, Ed always has a plan.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
it's not dominate.
I mean, apart from his beast of nature, nothing could see over the hill.
Yeah.
So, you know, and he couldn't really wait it out there because I could have just moved one of those units onto the hill and then surged into his knights beyond. So I think he had to make the move, but
Yeah.
if he didn't break through in one turn, which he didn't, it was always going to be painful.
Hello, David.
Hello. I'm back in.
So, how do you feel after that then?
Always a pleasure playing Ed.
It is indeed. We mentioned that before. We noticed when you moved out of sequence and you said Ed's allowed it to being a gentleman. It's like it's always the same when you play Ed. It's always that experience. It's the very, very genteel way of playing.
Indeed.
When we were just discussing with Ed, when he moved all his stuff into the centre, I mean, we're not the world's most tactical geniuses, but we were all sitting here thinking, "Ooh, that's an interesting move." What? Because he's outflanking. What were you thinking when he did that? Did you?
Well, I mean, I basically thought if the dice don't favour me here and I don't spike, I've lost, because on that map, the fact that Ed could move the entire army into the middle of the battlefield, there was nothing. I couldn't see anything I could have done apart from just charging and hope.
Right.
And unfortunately, I managed to roll one less than I needed to on quite a few nerve tests.
We noticed that as well, yeah.
I think it was 4 in the whole game, which is a lot. I've definitely by 1.
Yeah. Oh well.
I mean, you also got two double ones, but I mean, they weren't critical double ones, but they're still, they're still showing that for some reason the UB dice were playing with you, I think, today.
Oh no!
Just taunting you.
I roll like that in real life as well, so no, I can't blame the computer. I was happy enough with the amount of Strider and Pathfinder I've got. The actual difficult terrain wasn't too much of a problem. It was the hill. It was the hill being where it was. I couldn't see over it, so I couldn't outflank him. And if I had tried to outflank, he'd have just moved his cats in and chaffed me up for a couple of turns and smashed the centre. So I felt I had to go in when I did, but
it is a bit of I mean, with the building on one side and the hill on the other, you've got pretty much Ed had one secure flank and one that he was supremely able to fight over, because, like you say, if you didn't kill everything in the first turn, Ed's got all he had a lot of surge and that able to just move stuff in and take flanks and block where he wanted to, basically.
I think the two things that I think turned the game in the end were the Wiltfather killing the Redeemer in one go, because if he'd held one more turn, I could have put the Night Horde in fairly safely. And the other one was when I charged the 2 regiments of knights charged in. The one that charged in the front, yes, I had to roll well to do it, but had they killed that regiment of tree herders with the Beast of Nature chaffing up the others, I think I'd have been in a reasonably good position. But those two things didn't happen, unfortunately. But
well, it was I mean, I think that the dice did favour me in those crucial moments. I mean, my master hunter gave a lesson in how not to shoot a bow and arrow, and kept doing nothing. But
Worst
Yes,
sniper
my
ever.
prediction that the shooting was going to be an important element.
No, my
Wasn't
double
decisive.
failed Bane chant at the end could have
Yes.
mopped up another unit of
Yeah.
shamblers. But
That was a bit unfortunate, yeah.
It was a
it's
bit late
yeah,
to be
it was it's
significant.
it's a challenging army to play. I think I've not found it particularly easy. I'm used to playing dwarves and Empire of Dust, so I'm used to not moving very fast and letting everybody else dictate the pace. So it's a completely different way of playing, and I haven't really got used to it yet. But when you're playing a veteran who knows their army well and uses it effectively, then it's always going to be an uphill struggle.
As he starts off in the centre of the table.
Yeah, without that, I mean, to be fair, had you not had the scout moves, you'd have just gone first and done exactly the same thing anyway.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, it's nice to have second turn in that scenario. Quite nice. I've basically a combination of the scout and the terrain completely took away all of your speed advantage.
Yeah,
It meant that I could get everything in my army to within 1 turn's charge range of you. So you instead of you having the first charge everywhere, you could get in 1 or 2 first charges, and then it was basically even Stevens. And on the grind, I'm going to be better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially with elite, and crushing one, it comes in handy.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw your deployment, I knew it was going to be a struggle, because the one thing I couldn't face with your army was having to fight through several different waves of trees. I had to be able to pick off units, and you deployed in a way that I wasn't going to be able to do that.
Do you think, David, that having that big horde of knights sometimes can be more of a hindrance than it is a help?
I haven't used it enough to know yet.
Right.
I think the fact that they've got Pathfinder means that they're not too bad. And what I found not so much in this game, but in the other games I've played with them, which isn't very many, admittedly, people tend to focus on them because you can't ignore them, really, because they will do a lot of damage. But at the same time, the rest of the army can actually do some work as well. So if you focus on the horde, then the regiments of knights and the beast of nature and that can come in and get into good positions. But I don't know. I know that the general consensus is hordes of knights aren't very good. I don't know.
If you're going to take one, I think that one or the Revenant Knights in the Undead are the 2 knight hordes that are best.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think in this case it was a horde of retainers that was a hindrance.
You can have Pathfinder and strength on them, and that then is really quite nice. They're very scary across the table. I mean, you can't. There's not many things. Normally with this army, I'm happy to put the tree herders in front, and let them take a punch so that the shamblers can survive. But against your army, I was definitely hiding them because I can afford to lose some shambler units, but I can't afford to lose the tree herders.
No.
Yeah, that night horde is probably one of the few things that can one-shot a tree herder in combat.
Yeah. That's the thing. There's as far as I can tell, and so there's far more experienced players with the Brotherhood than me. There isn't much else in the list that can hit very hard. So
they're horrible to face off against. Definitely.
I think the fact that you can give them Brewer's Strength and Pathfinder. If I could only give them one, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't take them.
No.
But
right. We were saying about Benetton just constantly pestering.
Yeah, but you're
right. Well,
I didn't hear any of the. I didn't hear any of the commentary, but thank you very much for taking the time to.
To be very honest,
You didn't watch it back.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do watch it back, don't take any of the tactical advice. Honestly.
I don't watch myself back, so there's no worries there.
I think the other thing that watching back would bring up is the 2 flanks. I think it was in turn 3 that Ed could have taken.
Yes, I had seen that.
Right.
I thought that he had.
That he would.
He had enough of a positional advantage anyway, without seeing those.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the chat went mad. To be honest, they were like, "It's a flank, it's a flank," and it's like, "Oh, he has got a plan." That's why.
I did see. So that was the Shambler horde charging across the board into the flank of one of the night regiments. But
Yeah.
I thought I needed them where they were more, and that the tree herder and the horde in the front would do the job.
Yeah, but
nature.
Yeah, the Shamblers on the Beast of Nature, if you charged rather than countercharged, would have been a flank.
Oh, really? I completely missed that. Oh, that was dim. Oh, well, never mind. You very nearly killed that horde. You missed their nerve by 2 turns.
Yes.
Once with the
I did.
Yeah, quite a few times there were 16s and 13s flying around, just one shy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
It is indeed. Well, thank you very much, guys, for letting us look over your shoulders while you played this game.
That's all right.
Best of luck to you in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
And
More than likely,
we'll call that tonight. Yeah, no doubt. Let me just.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.